Hey guys, I'm going to give you a walkthrough today for Summoner's War for clearing the Giant's B10. So, I'm going to start by looking at the runes. Basically for your HellHound you just want a lot of attack, and speed helps a lot, so I recommend for slot number 2 getting speed on your rune. I use 3-star runes, and I'll explain why in another video coming soon. For your fairy, I recommend using accuracy, speed, and for slot 4 it doesn't really matter, you can use HP or attack is also okay. For your water imps, you're going to need attack accuracy, you're going to need speed, and again you're going to need crit rate for slot number 4. Something to note is you want to have the speed slower than your HellHound, because you need your HellHound to go first in the battles. So here we are, we're gonna go into the battle now. Something to note is I recommend starting with the HellHound in slot 3, because if you're anything like me, you'll always misclick and not be able to click the one in the middle. So you start by buffing all your monsters, and then you're going to use your Water Imp's 3rd skill on the crystals. Once you've got 3 stacks on them, that should easily be enough to kill them. For your other attacks, you want to be focusing mainly on the other crystal and disabling the giants in the middle using the Water Imp's 2nd skill. I wouldn't worry too much about healing unless it's absolutely necessary for this, because hopefully using the violent runes on your light fairy you might get extra turns for more stuns. So what I'm going to do here is just stalling. So instead of using my best attacks, I'm just going to keep using my first attacks, so that for the next battle I'll have all my attacks off cooldown. The first 2 rounds of this are actually pretty straightforward. They're both going to be almost identical to one another. So we're going to buff, use our 3rd skill on the crystals, and then try and get lucky with some stuns, and then get back to just attacking the other crystal and then freezing it and freezing the other giants. You will take some damage. As far as I'm aware, the giants have 2 attacks. There's an AoE attack and a single target attack. If you're lucky, then they'll never use the AoE attack, but in this run I was pretty unlucky, but it turns out it was okay. So once you get to this stage, again, same sort of thing, you just want to keep trying to disable them with freeze and with stuns from your life fairy. My monsters are getting kind of low here though, so I'm going to rely on using some heals and even the shield. For the AI of the monsters, you'll find most of the time they will focus the lowest HP target, or if not, your HellHound. So just keep that in mind when you have your invulnerability up on your light fairy. You probably want to choose the target with the lowest HP to hope you can bait an attack. So once it gets to this stage, once again, I'm just going to stall to try and get some extra turns in to get all my spells up for the next fight. It's pretty important that you have all your attacks off cooldown going into round 3, and that's because that monster does a lot of damage. So here we're going to, same again, we're going to buff, and then we're going to do our 3rd skill. And with our light fairy we're going to try and get lucky with a bash, but I think I miss here. Yeah, I missed it, which kind of sucks, but it's okay. It just makes the 4th round a little harder sometimes. Yeah, unfortunately he didn't do the AoE attack there, so this is going to go fine. So this is the hardest round because you'll start without having your 3rd skill. So the first thing you got to do is try and disable as many as you can whilst you wait for your 3rd skill to come off cooldown for your Water Imps. This is why you use violent runes, or it helps to in my opinion, because you can get lucky, you can get a few stuns in a row, and then it makes the fight very easy. With the HellHound, you see there I used the first skill instead of the second skill, and that's because I'm trying to save the heal in case I really need it. Because if you're unlucky and the giants do all AoE attacks, then you really need your heal for your water imps as well. So this should go fine from here. So once again, just finish off the crystals. The crystals will one-shot your whole team, basically. For me, my light fairy survives on about 20% HP, and I'm obviously not going to be able to clear the giants at that point, so just make sure the crystals will always die, or if not, they're disabled with freeze or stun on your light fairy. So this part's pretty straightforward now. Just going to finish them off and then do some stalling to get all our skills off cooldown again, ready for the final wave. Actually, it doesn't really matter if you take any damage here, even if your monsters go really low, because for the final boss fight, even if you go in the battle with 5% HP, it doesn't make a difference, because all of your monsters are just designed to take one hit and die, so it doesn't make a difference. And then you get to the boss fight. Again, we're going to buff, we're going to use our third skill. He'll counter and we'll die every time, but that's not a problem. All we're trying to do is stack the continuous damage. We're going to holy shield ourselves so that we can survive 2 turns from the boss. So here we go. Get an extra turn. We'll just hit a random tower here. Get a lot of turns. And there we go. He dies to the continuous damage. And that's how we're going to clear B10. And hopefully get lucky and find some 6-star runes. I actually got a pretty good one this round, as you can see. That's a pretty nice rune.